Hey guys, your Midget here. So I'm going to be doing a video on a VFC SCAR-H. So this is my father's gun. I did do a shooting test back a while ago, but I actually recently changed the wiring because VFC wiring is pretty bad. So I'll go over that later, but it sounds so much better when it cycles. So let's go ahead and go from the front to the back. It's obviously not all stock, but I'll talk about what's on here. So first of all, there is a mini silencer on here. I think this is Matrix. It has threads on the front and the back. So I take it it's counterclockwise and clockwise. So that's pretty cool. But I think this is Matrix again. I don't know for sure. I should have probably asked my dad, but I didn't. Then you have a front sight here built into the gas block. And there's actually a tool here. So you turn it to the side and you pull it out. This is actually a front sight adjustment tool, right? Yeah, front sight adjustment tools. Where on the WeTex, their gas blowbacks, it's an Allen wrench for the body screws. So if I can get this thing back in here. Technical difficulties. There we go. It's kind of cool how it clicks, like it would be unsuppressed and suppressed. That's pretty cool, like the ECR, adjustable gas system. Then, you know, the front side, it doesn't really, you don't have to hit a button, it kind of clicks in place though. And then you have a metal upper receiver here with rails on both sides, left and right, top and bottom. And on the bottom, my dad has, I think this is a Matrix, some sort of foregrip. It has like, it's like ergonomic. It's actually perfect. Like literally your thumb fits through there and you can put a pressure pad if you want, but he doesn't run on a flashlight or laser. XTM panels on here, but again, you can put whatever you want on there. Then the rail is monolithic, so it's on the whole top of the receiver. It's numbered too, the rail system, there's numbers. And then on the top here, my dad has a UTG rail mount riser because he uses a full face mask and he needs it risen, otherwise the face mask kind of makes contact with the stock. So he also has a holographic sight on this. This is the smaller one, so I think it's a 551. Don't know if that's correct. I know there's a 551, 552, but I'm not totally sure. I think this is 551 because it's smaller, but it is the smaller version. It works great. It's sighted in for about 180 feet with .25s. Back sight here is flip up. It's like your standard SCAR style. Your upper receiver has some quality trademarks on the left side. FN Herschel, Belgium, the logo. 7.62 by 51 caliber. That's the round of the SCAR-H in real life. Again, SCAR-H because of the big mag. So you cannot use M4 mags in here. If you want the M4 mag compatibility, use a M4 or get a SCAR-L. Sorry, to use M4 mags. Charging handle is reciprocating with the real one, but with this airsoft, it doesn't do anything except for open up the chamber. Now you can lock the bolt back. Sometimes it'll lock back. Sometimes you have to like push it in on the bottom portion yourself to lock it back, like with your pointer finger. So it does lock though. Not every time. It's not the bolt catch itself. It's not spring loaded. But then you have your hop up adjustment in here. It's a pretty cool style hop up. It's not your standard M4. The wheel is kind of like your M4 standard though. The bolt can be, or the charging handle can be put on either side. You can take it out when you pull the bolt system out, and then the bolt catch makes a nice sound. The upper receiver is metal and it's anodized, so it's a very nice quality upper receiver, probably the best on the market as far as quality. VFC makes really good externals. The receiver is plastic. It's pretty thick, to be honest. I think it feels pretty good. There's no really seam lines anywhere except for on the front of the magwell here, but it's still not even that noticeable. Big magwell. Standard M4 pistol grip, which I don't really care for these pistol grips. You cannot use some of the Magpul pistol grips because of this lip back here, but some of the pistol grips will, some of the newer, I think the Myad grips will go on here because it doesn't have a back lip. You can here's the deflector, deflector. It's kind of cool. Stock here has a adjustable cheek rest, so 3 positions, 6 position stock. There is limited battery space inside these stocks, so you know, you kind of give or take with these rifles. These SCARs, they all have fairly bad battery space. Folding stock here, and as you can see, it's wireless, so there's no wires sticking through the hinges. And I'll show you this system later when I take the lower off. So I'll go and do that now. To take the lower off, well, first of all, there's sling mounts, 2 sling mounts here, one over here, And there's one on the back stock, but I'm not sure what type you'd fit in there. And that's all for sling mounts. You could get one to put on the rail though. This would be best for 1-point slings. You don't have one up here for 2-point. Okay, let's take the little receiver off. Yeah, I don't have something to hit the. Do we have a pen? Hang on a second.
Alec Mac 101 guest appearance.
Alec Mac 101 screwdriver set right here. Okay, so sorry for that wait.
Lightsaber. No editing software and a lightsaber hammer. This is what you get. The Trick Shot Midget, also known as Jared Mac 101's channel.
Okay, so you pop the pin out, and then it's actually kind of a quick detach. Not quick detach. Quick tear down, I guess. Whatever you want to say. So you just hinge it as the hop up rolls out. So you got your hop up there. Totally different than your standard M4. What it does is there's these two tabs right here. Okay, so those two tabs pass current, and they touch in here, and that passes current. So that's pretty cool. I think the Echo 1 and all the other SCARs, D-Boys, and the WeTech AUG SCAR, I think they have wires sticking out of the hinges. So here's your gearbox. Now, VFC makes a very solid gearbox shell. So the shell here is made of a nice quality aluminum. You have a proprietary nozzle to the SCAR-H. Everything else is kind of M4 or version 2 compatible, M4 compatible, but a lot of other guns run off the version 2. So it doesn't have a full cylinder because the barrel is not super long. The spring-ins in here, I've heard some people say VFCs come, their 417s, or 417s, SCAR-H's come with M130 springs. That's what I've heard. It's getting just above 400 FPS with .2s. I have not checked the compression on it, so it could be an M120 with good compression, because that's correct FPS for M120 with good compression. But if it's an M130, then it's got pretty poorish compression. So the parts that are in here, it's got the VFC clear pistons, and they suck. They break really easily. So we're only running a 7.4 on this, so it shouldn't break, but still with a fairly heavy spring over time it will break, which SHS and other company metal rack pistons are super cheap, so I can just upgrade it then. But VFC, recently, their 2015 line, they have metal rack pistons out of the box. I think some other companies are starting to do that too. Great idea. Metal rack pistons out of the box is probably one of the best things to do in MOSFETs too. Now VFC still have bad wiring in this setup. I think VFC's new stuff, they do MOSFETs. That's what I've heard, their 2015 stuff. But this was bought in 2013, I believe, 2014-ish. I don't know if they're changing their SCARs up. I doubt it. They're probably going to do the same thing with their SCARs. The fuses suck. So I took out the fuse and the wiring little prongs that connect, and basically it's just straight DINs. In fact, I will show you that. And then I'll go and fire the gun. So battery space is limited, but since I took out the whole wiring and fuse stuff, there's a lot more space there. So, yep, 7.4 in here. This is my dad's battery. He runs this 7.4 1600 20C. So it's low power battery. These contacts will not burn out on this. It'll take a long time for them to burn out on this. So let's go and try semi. Everything else is stock in here besides like a KWA bevel that a local airsoft shop had replaced because it broke. And that was back 2.5 years ago when I had no idea how to tech. That was the first gun I took apart, actually, this. And we tried to work with it, but I didn't know what I was doing. So hopefully I get a chance to upgrade the piston and motor in this, though, because VFC motors really aren't very good either. So, but when I took out the wire fuse setup, man, the performance went up so much. So here's semi-auto with a 7.4 and stock, like, motor and stuff. And do keep in mind, it's getting above 400 FPS. Out of the box, you will be looking at about 415. It's run down just about 400. The highest was 408 that I got in the chrono, and the field that we go to is 400. So this is actually a little bit too hard, but just turning up the hop up will allow my dad in. So if I was in charge of a field, if you're under 405, I'd allow you to play. If the limit was 400, like if you're up above 5, I would allow you to pass because that's not a whole lot. I'd be pretty generous with that. So so, you know, there's some lag time. It's definitely not a speed trigger of any sort. If you put an 11.1 in here, it cycles pretty dang fast. And then full auto. Gets about 15, almost 15 rounds a second with the 7.4 without the fuse setup. The rate of fire went up probably 4 rounds a second when I took out this setup. I was so surprised. But if you use an 11.1, you're going to get about 23 rounds a second on full auto, which is pretty fast. Will it feed at that? I don't know, but it feeds at 15 fine with high caps. With a cheap China high cap and the stock high caps that they come with. So if you have any questions, comment below. As far as internals, I mean, I would recommend this. I really would. I like it. I'm not sure what diameter the barrel is, but it shoots far. I'll tell you that. Sight in for 180 feet with 2 5s. It's pretty dang good. So, thank you for watching. See you guys later.